Hello, I'm Meghan Schiller from KDKA-TV News, and this is your KDKA News Now update. I've got your top headlines and the latest weather. Veteran quarterback Russell Wilson is coming to Pittsburgh. He announced his one-year, $1.2 million deal with the Steelers last night. Our Chris Hoffman caught up with fans today to see what they think about it.
I got in my car this morning, turned the radio on and heard the news, and I almost wrecked my car. I mean, it's fantastic.
Fortunately, he didn't slam his car, and with him being a manager for Yinzers in the Berg, there is already the question of when Russ's gear will make it to the Strip District.
We're going to try to get, hopefully, T-shirts in by midweek. We've already had people coming in the door asking for his shirts.
Now, some other fans are lukewarm to the deal. While a proven commodity, Wilson isn't getting any younger, but the price definitely is right.
Hopefully, he adds a good work-hard attitude, and he doesn't come in and be a diva. We've had our characters with AB in the bunch, so let's just get back to hard-working football.
Other fans say bringing in Wilson is just delaying the inevitable. The team still needs a franchise quarterback, and Wilson's in the twilight of his career.
So they could have definitely come through for a different, wait for a better quarterback to come through the drafts, because they have a lot of talent coming up right now.
As for what this means for Kenny Pickett, there will certainly be some competition to be QB1 this year. And maybe Pickett will learn a thing or two from Wilson.
Competition's good, but I hope he doesn't come in and expect to start right away. Let's see a little quarterback competition this year.
He's a proven quarterback.
Before we know it, it's going to be training camp, and then the Steelers season will start. So to see who's going to be playing quarterback, well, we're just going to have to wait and see. Outside Acrisure Stadium, Chris Hoffman, KDKA-TV News.
Local businesses are already welcoming Wilson. Eaton Park tweeted this today showing Wilson's supposed reaction before and after he gets his first smiley cookie. Also, Pittsburgh Zoo sent out a tweet today welcoming Wilson with this terrible towel in the Penguins exhibit.
The entire state is dealing with a crisis involving the juvenile justice system. Across the 60-plus counties in Pennsylvania, there are currently only 7 detention centers for juveniles, leaving teenagers without the proper level of care or any consequences for their actions. KDKA investigator Erica Stanish is looking into what some counties are doing to address the problem, as many juvenile detention centers remain empty.
This is what it looks like in many detention centers across the state, empty pods and cells as the facilities were shut down, with some having no plans to reopen. But it's a crisis now at the system level, leaving high concern for teens involved in serious crimes and the safety of our communities.
We're failing these kids.
Juvenile crime spiking statewide, but the closures of the Schumann Juvenile Detention Center in Allegheny County and the Westmoreland Juvenile Detention Center leave few options for secure detention.
They are roaming the streets, they've got ankle bracelets on, but they, commit other crimes and get into other kinds of trouble.
Westmoreland County Probation Officer Norm Mueller says with no secure facility to go to, many are slapped with an ankle bracelet and sent back into the community, awaiting hearings or trials and reoffending.
We're limited in what we can do, and it's pretty much a disservice to the community to put people who need to be detained and removed from the community back into the community. But we actually don't have any real options at this time.
He says the average ages of teens charged with serious crimes are 16 and 17.
Certainly is related to guns and the access that these kids have with guns. A fist fight 20 years ago is now fought with a gun.
Nancy Kukovich is the CEO at Adelphi, a residential community-based program focused on youth placement and treatment. She says many juveniles have ended up at their facility in Latrobe since Schumann shut down in 2021, something they said really wasn't an appropriate placement for those teens. KDKA reported to you last year multiple juveniles leaving the unsecured facility and stealing cars. Kukovich said then those incidents were side effects of the detention crisis statewide, without enough open beds at the remaining open detention centers.
If they were detained in our detention center, that obviously wouldn't have happened because they're in a secure environment.
Right now, Kukovich says juveniles in Allegheny County in need of detention are sent to a detention center in Cambria County. But space there is also limited, forcing them to turn more than 250 teens back to the streets.
And so what the courts have told us is that of those 254, something like 10 of them have gone on to be involved in other serious crimes. I think 15 of them have eventually wound up with a crime serious enough to be considered an adult and put in the county adult prison.
Adelphi is set to take over operations at Schumann and reopen it. They hope this spring. But finding the staff to run it, she says, is the #1 issue. So far, they've hired 25.
We've probably interviewed 300-400 people to get that 25. So there's a serious lack of staff that we need in order to get the job done.
Westmoreland County is facing the same issue in trying to reopen its juvenile detention center, which closed last June. County Commissioner Ted Kopa says outdated state regulations and required college credits make it harder to find the right candidates, something he says needs to change on the state and county level.
So it's really a shared responsibility in how we come together and solve what is a really difficult situation and, frankly, a public safety crisis that's looming.
And while he says they hope to reopen by the end of the month, juvenile crime rates continue to rise.
There's a lot more violent juveniles than any time in our history, and we owe it to the constituents that we're sworn to serve to get this right.
There's really nowhere to put these kids, so they're getting an ankle bracelet slapped on that they cut off or let die, and they're just back out in the community when that's not where they should be, and that's a concern for the community.
And that just simply can't be allowed to continue. We have to fix this, and we have to get it right for the safety of all of our communities.
If and when Schumann reopens, they plan to provide up to 12 beds with a long-term goal of 60. And here in Westmoreland, they can have up to 16 beds, a step they say in the right direction when it comes to solving this crisis, but still a long way to go. Reporting in Westmoreland County, Erica Stanish, KDKA-TV News.
And now here's First Alert meteorologist Ray Petlin with a look at your weather.
So we are not done with the 70s yet, even though yesterday we did fall back into winter. We picked up a little bit of snow. We picked up 0.4 of an inch, almost a half an inch of snow officially at Pittsburgh International. That takes our seasonal total up to 16.2 and an even 23 inches of snow below average. It has been quite the non-winter, and if we don't get another measurable snowfall at 16.2, that would put us in 6th place for least snowiest winters on record. Now, we still have some gusty winds, 20 to 25 miles per hour in the lower elevations, up into the higher elevations, 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. All these gusts are backing off, and as the sun sets, they'll back off a little more, but I think it is going to stay breezy tonight under clear skies, where we have 51 degrees right now. 10 to 15 mile per hour westerly winds, gusts to 23 in the last hour here in Pittsburgh. Temperatures around low 50s in Irwin, Pittsburgh, Beaver, in Washington, Waynesburg, and Morgantown. Some upper 40s in Newcastle and Butler, as well as Zelienople, Contanning, and Greensburg with Connellsville. Then the mid 40s stretched along I-80. Temperatures as you look to the west, they get even warmer still. You go out towards Iowa, it's in the mid-70s, and that's the type of weather that's going to be blowing towards us later this week. So we will see our temperatures progressively getting warmer, and we're not going to stay in the 50s for highs. We're going to get in the 60s for much of this week. Now, there's a little cloud cover to the west. I don't think this is going to be an issue for us. We're going to see clear skies tonight. Plenty of sunshine again tomorrow, aside from maybe a couple clouds mixing in, especially later. But it's going to be another gorgeous setup and even warmer than what we had today as our temperatures make a run towards those low to mid 60s. And from there, we're going to see the clouds inch in a little more come Wednesday, so more of a partly cloudy setup. And then we turn mostly cloudy with our rain chances going up once we get into Friday. So tonight, we're going down to the upper 30s in most cases. A comfortable night for March. Typically, we'd be in the upper 20s this time of year, and highs tomorrow are going to be well warmer than average as we look for highs to make it back to the low to even some mid 60s in most spots outside of the ridges. Now, into the next couple days, we're going to warm up even more than that as we look for a high by Thursday to start stretching towards 70. But tonight, 39. Clear skies, mild conditions, and a little on the breezy side. From there, we see those breezes continue tomorrow, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. I don't think it's going to be quite as gusty. 63 for the high temperature with that abundant sunshine around. And you'll see those clear skies stick with us through most of the day. It's not until late where we'll start to mix in a few of those clouds, but it should be a fine day start to finish. And over the next 7, these temperatures keep building towards Thursday, up to 70 degrees. Later Thursday and Friday is our next batch of rain. We get a break Saturday and then turn those showers on again for Sunday. Temperatures for the weekend back to the 50s, more closer to what you would expect for this time of year, even the upper 40s by Monday.